Florian Leo Young Jr. is recovering from 25 stitches to his face after his comeback fight with Ernie Lesnar at Festival Hall earlier this month. After 18 months out of the ring, Young Jr. needed to shake off the ring rust, and promoter Keith Ellis says the fight lived up to expectations.
Leo Young Jr. is considered one of Victoria's most promising boxers, but Filipino Ernie Lesnar was fearless, if not foolhardy. Young hadn't fought since last September when he lost his Commonwealth Junior middleweight crown to Sydney's rugged Kevin Kelly. And with a record of 13 wins from 14 fights, he deserves respect, as Lesnar quickly discovered. Lesnar recently went the distance with Australian middleweight champion Ernie Atengo, but his staying power looked in doubt when confronted with Young's speed. Both fighters were very willing, with the Filipino even pushing his luck. Lesnar's performance delighted the crowd, but by the latter stages of the fight, it was clear his showmanship wouldn't be enough. Both fighters gave their all until the final bell. Promoter Keith Ellis promising to make Leo Young Jr. the main attraction at one of his next fight nights.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Cliff Heber gives it 73-80. Judge Neville Williams, 74-80. Judge Ignatius Miscellaneous, a very similar card, 73-79. The comeback kid, Leo
34-year-old Hector Camacho is stepping up his campaign to lure Sugar Ray Leonard out of retirement. Camacho is maintaining a schedule of one fight each month until an expected rematch with Roberto Duran. But Camacho, who's been criticised for picking easy beats in recent times, is making it clear he also wants the scalp of Sugar Ray Leonard.
At 34, Camacho has won 17 straight and a rejuvenated career that 2 months ago offered a big payday against Roberto Duran. Although Macho just eked out a disputed decision, he eyes some bigger money ahead. That night, sitting at ringside was Sugar Ray Leonard, then rumored to be coming back against Camacho. Hector beeline straight for Sugar Ray. A deal is now in the works, and Camacho is already in verbal training about Leonard.
Arrogant, envious character about me. I've done everything he done, you know, but win the Olympics, you know. But as far as painting me as the bad boy of boxing, one of a kind, Macho Camacho, you know, with outfits and antics, you know, it's me. He has antics, but nothing like Ali, nothing like a Macho Man. So I think he resents that bit.
Former world champ Riddick Bowe will face arch-rival Andrew Golota in a rematch on Saturday, November 2 in Atlanta. Their July 12 fight ended in a riot at Madison Square Garden after Golota was disqualified for landing a series of low blows. Bowe has negotiated a reduction of the $1 million fine imposed on his camp by the New York Athletic Commission after the riot, but will lose the services of manager Rock Newman for 1 year. And Andrew Golota this week ended a self-imposed 5-year exile from his native Poland, returning to face court charges stemming from a 1991 barroom brawl. Meantime, WBC heavyweight champion Mike Tyson says he'd like to accept the long-standing challenge from Britain's Lennox Lewis. Tyson is training for his upcoming WBA title fight against Bruce Seldon, but admits it's Lewis who is on his mind.
Mike Tyson's path back to the top of world boxing since his release from prison has been carefully orchestrated, and so far it's gone as smoothly as his sparring sessions building up to next month's fight with Bruce Seldon for the WBA title. Watching from the sidelines with his own world title hopes frustrated has been Lennox Lewis. Britain's former world champion has been seeking a showdown with Tyson since his re-emergence, but claims that Tyson was avoiding the one man who could beat him appear to have borne fruit, with Tyson and his camp at last including Lewis in his plans.
Personally, I like to fight Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis. Yeah. He wants to fight without getting. He wants to get paid without fighting.
No, he wants to get paid and a belt without fighting. Yeah. He wants both of them. He got the best of any world I've ever seen. He wants
to fight for this belt,
and no belt, and a belt without fighting.
Lewis has remained confident that if he were to get into the ring with Tyson, he could pull off one of the greatest surprises in recent boxing history, and it appears he may now get the chance to prove it.
In overseas results this week, Russian Yuri Abachikov stretched his unbeaten record to 23 with a successful defence of the WBC flyweight crown in Tokyo. Abachikov was making the 9th defence of the title he won 4 years ago and stopped Japan's Takato Taguchi in round 9. But the news wasn't so good for Venezuela's Alami Goitia, who surrendered his WBA junior bantamweight crown to Thailand's Yoktai Sitor. Recently, we told you that Olympic chiefs were looking to women's boxing to bring the crowds back to ringside. There's no doubting the dedication and skill of fighters like Christy Martin in the States or Australia's own Amanda Buchanan. But there are some who question the image of women in the ring. Surprisingly, the controversy has been around much longer than you might think.
The recent notoriety of women's boxing may lead one to believe that it is a new phenomenon. In fact, women in the sport can be dated as far back as the mid-1800s. While women continued to box into the 20th century, it was viewed mostly as a carnival spectacle. That is, until the arrival in 1948 of Barbara Buttrick.
I started out when I was just a teenager. I read about a woman called Polly Burns, and she used to fight around 1914-18. And I thought, well, if she could do it, so could I.
Buttrick performed in over 1,000 exhibitions in England and France before traveling to the U.S. It was here that she won the first officially recognized women's boxing championship. She was the undefeated flyweight and bantamweight champion from 1950 to 60. In the 70s, there was a new wave of interest in women's boxing, culminating with Cat Davis gracing the cover of the ring. But controversy and lack of interest returned the sport to relative obscurity. In the 90s, the increased interest in fitness prompted women to use vigorous boxing workout as a form of exercise. For some, the interest has gone way beyond the heavy bag. In 1993, a Seattle court issued an injunction giving 16-year-old Dallas Malloy the clearance to fight as an amateur. And in 95, women were included in Golden Gloves competition. In an attempt to give the sport credibility, the WIBF was formed by Buttrick.
What it needs is somebody to pull it all together and form an organization where all the girls can belong to it and build the sport and get some ratings, some champions, and that is what we've done. And when we formed the WIBF, we rated the girls. We've put on 15 championship fights in the last 15 months. The next one is August the 17th in Germany, which I will be attending. And it's great to see that this is taking off now.
I think what's interesting about women's boxing is they look like they've already adopted some of the reasons we're having so much trouble with it on the male side. They've got their own world organization, which has 4, not 3 initials. They've got 11 weight classes. I can hardly wait for them to have 2, 3, and 4 champions in each division like the men. But welcome aboard. Let's see what you can do. You can't screw it up any more than it has been by the men.
Perhaps the most significant event to date in women's boxing was the much-talked-about match between Christy Martin and Deirdre Gogarty in March. Martin's victory thrust her into the spotlight. She appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated in April and staked out a corner in New York's Fashion Cafe. Even Nike has gotten into the act, using Buttrick as part of their Just Do It campaign. Could the time be right for women's boxing?
I think that what's happening is a total change in the way we sense things. Girls are now going to the Citadel. Girls are now going to McSorley's. Girls are now into our sports. And maybe we better get used to it.
We're living in the 1990s, and women, I guess for some women, that's the epitome of the American dream, and we can't deny them that opportunity. So I have no problem with it as long as women are matched against women.
I would be the last person to have a negative comment on women in boxing, but obviously women in the ring are different than what I do out of the ring. But I think women in general have a right to do whatever they want to do, and the women that I've seen in the gym, a lot of them are as good as some of the guys, not to fight against the men, but comparatively speaking, they train as hard, they hit as hard proportionately, and I think there's nothing wrong with it as long as that's what they want to do.
And after all, what is an athlete? By definition, there are no gender restrictions on the term.
Trying to make a mark in women's sports, and especially in women's boxing, to let people know that a woman could be just as efficient and look very good out there in the ring just as the male can.
I think a lot of people, especially men, see it as two women slugfest or mudslinging, as I've heard some men state. But when they actually see the skills that we have to offer, then I think they'll change their mind.
I hope that everyone will give the girls a chance to show what they can do and will accept them for what they are, good athletes, and give them the same opportunities as the men in boxing.
I think they're going to have to strengthen it, gain acceptance, whether it's the first match in Madison Square Garden, which is a bit of a pioneering effort. Cover of Sports Illustrated for Christy Martin, another breakthrough. Whatever it is, they'll have to continue to make these steps to be the accepted sport they want to be. Then it's up to old fogies like me to accept it.
To the punchline. The grandfather of the fight game, George Foreman, is giving it another shot. The 47-year-old former heavyweight champion will fight Crawford Grimsley in Tokyo on September 16. From the Fox Sports archives, let's take a look at the early career of Foreman, a fighter once known as the Sledgehammer and ranked one of the biggest punchers of all time.
George loves to work on the heavy bag. Punching is Foreman's first love. And if you look at the list of heavyweights who have fallen before those fists, there is no doubt that this is one of the most dynamic punchers the heavyweight division has seen since Rocky Marciano was bombing everyone out in the 50s. This is what it looks like if you care to get in there with George. One has to admire the cameraman's nerves, never flinching once. Foreman did promise not to crush the camera, explaining that he would stop his punches 1/2 inch in front of our lenses. This is what a greeting from George Foreman looks like if you're in the ring with George. No, thank you. Chipolis looks in very bad shape. George is going after the Russian. Throwing bombs in there. Ripping punches by George Foreman. He's all over the Russian. Chipolis looks all through. George pouring it on. And the referee stops the fight in the second round. It's all over. George Foreman wins the gold medal of the 19th Olympiad in Mexico City. And there's George holding up the American flag in the center of the ring before thousands of impressed spectators and millions more of television viewers. An inspiring ending to Olympic boxing at the Mexico City 19th Olympiad.
Foreman in complete charge up to now. Frazier and Pollard. Foreman is being warned. Frazier is being battered in Foreman's corner. Joe's about to go down. He does. He goes down again. Joe is desperately trying to get to his feet. He's on his feet. He's taking a mandatory 8 count. 45 seconds to go in the round. Joe's been down 4 times. There goes Joe down again. Joe bounces up. 5 times he's been down. Foreman at him again. It's hard to see how Frazier can last.
Everything was kind of confused, you know. Joe Louis came to my dressing room and he said more in 5 words than all of my guys have been working in 20 days. He said, George, your left hand is going to do it. Your right hand is going to come out whenever it's necessary.
Is that what did it, George?
Joe Louis.
Now, is that the hand that did it for you?
Right hand. Joe Louis, I got more respect for him than any man in the world.
He's got Roman in the corner, and that's dangerous. An accidental punch. George hit Roman while he was down. The second time. Try to pick the count of 5. 6, 7. Jay Edson brings them in. The right uppercut did the job. I don't think he's going to make it, friends. That's it.
Round 2, scheduled for 15, the heavyweight championship of the world. Oh, good right hand on the left-hand side of the face of Norton. Norton is a bit stunned as Foreman is teeing off, and it looks like Norton has really been staggered as he went up against the rope. The referee is giving this a count. Yes, he'll have to take the 8 count. Okay, 17, and here we go as Foreman comes banging on in the second round. Norton goes down again. A left hand on the side of the head. Norton goes back. He'll have to take another 8 count. No, he doesn't. His legs are rubbery as the left hand goes to the side of his head. A right uppercut, a left jab, and a vicious left sends Norton crumbling to the canvas for the second time. Norton is in Queersville. He doesn't know where he is. It's up to 5, 6. I don't know if Norton can make it. It might be all over right here, and it is all over.
The mighty kickboxing campaigner Mad Dog Marcus Mangan is proving to be unstoppable with another stunning win earlier this month. Mangan took on Queensland's Ben Hardcore Holly as part of a Steve Jez promotion.
Okay, gentlemen, let's keep this nice and clean. Knuckle part of the glove. When I say break, break. When I want you to break, I want you to protect yourself at all times. You can put him down, kick or punch, get away from him, okay? Touch gloves. Best of luck to both of you. Box.
Here we go now for the professional Australian 68-kilo weight fight.
If you could come ringside, please.
Marcus Mangan from Sydney versus Ben Holiday from Queensland. Both coming into the fight with impressive records of Ben Holiday's 14 wins, no losses, versus Marcus Mangan's 20 fights, 3 losses. Marcus coming in as a southpaw. Both fighters here looking extremely fit. Just testing each other here for the first round. Not going to give too much away, just watching and feeling each other out with those chicks. Yeah, Ben Holiday grabbing the leg there, which is illegal in New South Wales.
Don't hold his leg. Look.
Billy Mayle, the referee, in the middle. Now Ben Holiday is switching to southpaw stance and back down to orthodox. It's a straight left there, trademark punch for Marcus Mangan.
Don't.
Step in, Marcus.
And now Ben Holiday changing to southpaw. Good left kick there, left kick into the ribs. Well checked there by Marcus Mangan.
Step up, Marcus. Step up more. That's it, Ben.
First round, just a feeling out round for both of these fighters.
Step in when you attack, Marcus. Step in more.
Definitely fighting with intent, both of these fighters here. Straight left to the body there. Strong punch. Oh, and another left straight punch on the chin. It's put Ben Holiday down. Marcus Mangan looking strong. Billy Mayle's applying the 8 count.
Get him up. Look.
And here comes Mangan coming straight back in. And again, left high kick there, straight, and another straight left straight punch. That's it. I don't think he'll get up. Looks like a straight punch there by Marcus Mangan, flooring Billy Holiday.
Melbourne's Festival Hall is gearing up for what's expected to be the kickboxing event of the year, and Fox cameras will be there. This Sunday, a capacity crowd will witness the clash of Ian Jacobs and power kickboxer Gurkhan Ozcan. We'll have all the highlights on next week's Punchline. And in Sydney this Friday, Mitch O'Hello will face the biggest fight of his life. He'll be in against America's Jeff Rufus in a battle for the UTC World title at the Blacktown Civic Centre. Rufus knocked out Stan the Man Longinidis in only 40 seconds last year and says he has similar intentions against O'Hello. And we have 2 double passes to give away to the Blacktown Kickboxing. Call us on Sydney 02 9776 2512 right now for a chance to win. Time now for a brief look at the boxing schedule coming up on Fox Sports. On Thursday, we have Miguel Maquito Martinez facing Arthur Flash Johnson for the NABF flyweight title, and Jorge Julio up against William Alverzo for the NABO bantamweight championship. On Friday, a replay of the Ike Quarty-Alberto Cortez matchup, which is well worth setting the alarm clock for. And at 1 p.m, we have Giovanni Parisi facing Antonio Rivera. Next Tuesday, we have our regular 2 hours of boxing from the States, and on Wednesday, what should be an entertaining fight from one of the great showmen. Prince Naseem Ahmed will face Manuel Medina. And that is it for another edition of The Punchline, but I can leave you with some great news for boxing fans. Fox Sports will be increasing its commitment to the fights in Australia, with our big-time boxing promotions becoming more frequent and moving interstate as well. So we hope to be coming to a venue near you very soon. More details on that in the coming weeks, but for now, on behalf of all the team, we'll see you again soon.